Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This the news beat presented to you by Ladies Like. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow. It's not the nation that makes great men, it's the great men that make the nation. One man deserves Uganda's gratitude, a man to whom we now pay tribute. Uganda lost one of its great visionaries with the passing of Professor Lawrence Muchibi, the director of St. Lawrence Schools and Colleges, a humble leader who pushed for positive changes. Muchibi died as a result of a heart attack, but had been ill since he was in a car wreck in April last year. The damage was severe. His death stopped him just short of 70 years. He left behind 6 schools and a university and more. He left behind a legendary legacy. To students, he was a leader and a father figure. He pushed them to a brighter future, but he didn't hold them to traditional careers. He helped them follow their dreams without fear, be it music, fashion, design or show business. His schools even gave us Smash and Scissor Us. His style was simple, clean and orderly. He had love for everything white and tidy. It was not just appearance, but high standards across his schools. His standards never flattered. This was his contribution to education. He set best standards within the nation. Muchibi had a request for his funeral function that all mourners wear white in celebration, and there's much to celebrate within his vision. All he gave to the future generation. For his achievements, he didn't die in vain. As Muchibi always said, no pain, no gain. A word border is now in Oxford English Dictionary. Follow Sylvester with this report. Follow the flow and don't miss a word.
Oxford Dictionary has finally opened its pages to East Africa's versions of the English language. It now includes chitenji and boda, a dab of daily vocab from East Africa, and these words weren't added there without reason. The Oxford Press published a 3rd edition of the Oxford Dictionary for primary in East Africa to meet the needs of pupils in Kenya with the purpose of being culturally appropriate and providing vocabulary that is up to date. It was designed with the mission of better word retention and comprehension, and an addition of 600 illustrations to reflect culture in East African nations. With simple language and shorter entries, the dictionary is now more child-friendly. Do you believe that languages are living and that new words keep them breathing? Well, these words were grown in East Africa, making them matter to the area, not just Kenya. Who knows, they might add words from English like benching, bouncing, and side dish. We also have words like mazongo to hey. Our English is more than wolokoso. I'm Sylvester Kabombo, reporting for Newsbeat.
Kenya was one of the British Empire's most vital colonies, with its tea, coffee and tobacco plantations contributing immensely to the British and Kenyan economies. However, as British settlers moved into the most fertile areas in the Rift Valley Islands, dozens of villages were decimated and the former landowners were relegated to the jobs of cooks, gardeners and guards. Today the survivors and their descendants hope to win compensation from British's High Court and return the land that the international tea companies claimed they bought. The motion of compensation was passed by the assemblies of Karikou and Bomet countries as the major tea estates cut across the lands of these Kalenjin communities. The government of Nandi County, which also has a number of tea estates, is financing the case, and around 200 people have already come forward with substantial evidence. Finlay's estates, which cover more than 6,300 hectares in the highlands of Kericho, is one of the major tea companies whose land is being targeted by the locals. However, even though tea evokes painful memories of torture and displacement among the elderly in this region, it remains the main and in some cases only source of employment to the younger generation, as Kenya is the world's largest exporter of black tea and has more than 3.5 million Kenyans employed in the tea industry. I'm MC Loy, reporting for Newsbeat.
Africa's healthcare system has been severely affected by medical personnel shortages, but technology is now addressing some of the challenges. It has eliminated the problem of distance and reduced many medical-related costs and extended health services to remote communities that need them most. Parents and their children are registered using mobile technology in the rural parts of Mozambique. They then receive an SMS reminder for their scheduled visit to the clinic. If a child misses a scheduled date to receive immunization, the clinic is alerted through the system to ensure that the child receives its vaccination. Uganda's Ngozi app, an online tool that offers health services, helps health-conscious showers to find doctors, specialists, and pharmacies. Users can access information on over 2,500 Ugandan health facilities, including preferred payment. And through the company's website, users can make medical appointments. In Tanzania, a stock-keeping app was implemented in over 5,000 clinics and hospitals in order to monitor the medical stock outages and stock levels. A weekly SMS is sent to the management of these health facilities to submit current updates on stock received, stock levels, wasted, and expiry dates. The system is expected to promote effective stock keeping, which is a major challenge on the continent, and help health centers to check the rampant medical supplies mismanagement. That was the news of the beat. Next week will be another hit. Still ladies like reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.